Hello, everyone. This is Backyard Musings, broadcasting live from the Double Wide in Apple Valley. My name is Steve.
And I'm Scott.
Today, we're going to continue our segment on Signs of the Times, Matthew 24:6, and ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. We've covered wars from like 1800 to present, major conflicts. It was bloody in the 20th century, and it's getting just as bloody in the 22nd. It's like it's leading up to something. If you weren't looking at this, you'd think, okay. But it's getting more deadly, more nations are being involved, and I think it's leading up to something, all this violence. I think it is.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, now the rumors of wars, it's kind of subtle, but tensions in each of the three places we talk about could lead to armed conflicts. And you're going to recognize these instantly. Iran is threatening Israel. The relations between Iran and Israel are divided into four major phases. The ambivalent period from 47 to 53, right, when they first established their nation. The friendly period during the era of the Pahlavi dynasty, that was the last Shah, from 1953 to 1979. They ousted him, right?
Yep.
And then they took over our embassy.
Yep. Hostages.
Yeah. The worsening period following the Iranian Revolution from 79 to 90, and the ongoing period of open hostility since the end of the Gulf War in 1991. Those are the four phases. Other factors that have contributed to the escalation of bilateral tensions includes Iran's development of nuclear technology, relative to Israel's long-standing Begin doctrine, Menachem Begin. Yeah. Iran's funding of Islamic groups such as Hezbollah and Palestinian Islamic Jihad and Hamas, as well as alleged involvement in terror attacks such as the 92 attack on Israel's embassy in Buenos Aires and the 1994 AMIA bombing, and Israel's alleged support of militant groups such as the People's Mujahideen of Iran and Jundallah, as well as alleged covert Israeli options in Iran, including multiple assassinations and bombings. So all that tension is just simmering, right? Since 1985, Iran and Israel have been engaged in an ongoing proxy conflict, like they're using other countries that they're sending money to
groups
to fight. Like we're in a proxy war with Russia by feeding Ukraine money to buy. So that's a rumor of war between us and the United States. I didn't even think of that.
Yeah, well, and it's, you think about it, this last October, it kind of all hit the fan. And because Israel has been pretty calm about the whole thing. I mean, they've done some things like their Iron Dome and some things to be defensive, but when Hamas made their move in October and killed a bunch of civilians and attacked people that, I think one of the things was like an outdoor concert. People that were just, it was total gun-free zone area, and Benjamin Netanyahu said enough is enough, and we're gonna try and end this thing, however long it takes, a week, a year, 2 years, whatever.
So they invaded Gaza.
Yeah, exactly. They cleaned house in Gaza and threatened to go into Lebanon.
Hezbollah started attacking in the north, right? And so they've counterattacked.
Yeah. So they've somebody is taken a phrase from the World War II involving Japan. They've kind of woke the sleeping giant.
Yeah.
Isn't that what was said by
woke the sleeping giant.
Who was that? That was one of the Japanese commanders, right?
Yamamoto.
He thought we
Yamamoto.
It was great that we attacked Pearl Harbor, but we're going to pay the price, and they did pay the price. But anyway, I think that's what's happening here. A little bit smaller scale, but my hat's off to the Israeli people. They've had. I mean, how would you like to have hundreds of rockets coming into your community
just indiscriminately?
Just whenever, and live by the sound of the warning that warning system that they have.
Siren,
the sirens, and just, I mean, that's every day. And then you instead of knowing where the fast food place is or the movie theater, these people know where the bomb shelters are. It just, I mean, I just can't imagine it. It just, I don't know.
Not a good place to, live or raise families.
Raise a family, it's crazy.
And Iran has stated their goal is to eliminate the Zion regime, Israel, off the face of the map. They've said that.
Yeah.
So this ongoing proxy conflict has greatly affected the geopolitics of the Middle East and has included direct military confrontations between Iranian and Israeli organizations, such as the 2006 Lebanon War. The conflict is played out in various ways, including through support for opposing factions in conflicts with Syria and Yemen, right? Because Israel was supporting Saudi Arabia, right? And they were about ready to sign a peace treaty when Trump went out of office and Biden messed that all up. We don't want peace. Iran has provided support to the Syrian government and Russia too, while Israel has supported opposition groups. In Yemen, Iran has provided support to the Houthi rebels, while Israel has provided support to the Saudi-led coalition fighting the rebels. The conflict has also involved cyber attacks and sabotage against each other's infrastructure, including attacks on nuclear facilities and oil tankers. Right? Overall, the Iran-Israeli proxy conflict is a complex and ongoing conflict that has had a significant impact on the political and security dynamics of the Middle East, and it's going to keep going.
Without a doubt, it is. Could you imagine? I mean, Israel is about as big as a pea over there, country.
Yeah.
And they're surrounded by people that really don't particularly like them. Egypt, not too bad. Saudi Arabia, they live with them. But the rest of the countries over there are, like you say, they would just as soon eliminate that whole community. It's so sad.
Well, I think it's leading up to this. All nations are going to be against Israel, even the United States. And it looks like, Biden is against Israel.
I was going to say, yeah, where is Israel going to be if Biden's still in office? If Trump was there, well, a lot of this I think would stop because, like we talked, Trump is unpredictable, and they know that.
Yeah.
And he's already. We saw some of that during his 4-year reign. So.
Yeah. So the Korean Peninsula.
That's a bad term. Sorry. Sorry, bad term.
The Korean Peninsula. That's another rumor of war. Actually, the Korean War began in 1950, and hostilities ended in 1952. But they're still at war. They're in an armistice right now. They're still firing at each other.
Yeah.
North Korea will fire, and then South Korea will retaliate.
Demilitarized zone, right?
Yeah,
Just like they had in Vietnam. So they and Trump went there. We talked about that.
Yeah, he
right?
stepped across into North Korea.
Yeah,
we're going to talk a little bit about what Trump did.
But you talk about an unhinged leader there in North Korea. Oh my gosh!
Well, he's trying to hold on to power. He's an emperor.
Yeah.
Both nations claim to be the sole legitimate government of all of Korea. During the Cold War, North Korea was backed by the Soviet Union, China, and other allies, Iran, while South Korea was backed by the United States, United Kingdom, and other Western allies. The U.S. maintains a military presence in the South to assist South Korea. It's kind of pulled back a little bit. Second Infantry Division used to be there continually, and they've pulled out. They've pulled out some of their brigades. Put them back in the United States. In accordance with the Republic of Korea and U.S. Mutual Defense Treaty in 1997, U.S. President Bill Clinton described the division of Korea as the Cold War's last divide. In 2002, U.S. President George W. Bush described North Korea as a member of an axis of evil. Facing increasing isolation, North Korea developed missile and nuclear capabilities.
Yeah, so again, you think about it. If North Korea didn't have the backing of China, CCP, they'd be nothing. Their country is just, it's broke. Those people live in poverty. The only people that are living decently there are people that back
the
regime, and they're probably scared to death that if they did go against him,
their family would be killed.
Their families would be destroyed. So it's a mess.
So following the heightened tension throughout 2017 and some parts of 2018, 2018 saw North Korea, South Korea, and the U.S. holding a series of summits which promised peace and nuclear disarmament. This led to the Panmunjom Declaration on the 27th of April 2018. Trump? Trump. Right? That's when he walked over the border.
Right.
When the North and the South agreed to work together to denuclearize the peninsula, improve inter-Korean relations, and end the conflict officially, and move towards peaceful reunification. That was the whole goal there back in 2018. And they were moving to that, right? And then when Trump left office, it all fell apart because...
I was going to say, no new conflicts during the Trump administration, correct?
Yeah.
Can you look forward to that?
I would like to.
From 24 to 28? I could really do that.
In subsequent years, starting 2021, Biden.
Yeah.
Diplomatic efforts faltered and military confrontation returned to the forefront. The Korean border remains the most militarized private area in the world, with the presence of the Korean People's Army in the north, forces of the ROC and the United States on the south. And they are combined forces. They're working hand in hand in the south. And the presence of the forces of the United Nations in the Korean militarized zone. There's a JSA in Camp Boniface in the joint something area in Camp Boniface. So that tension is really high.
It is. And again, you got a Looney Tune that's running that show there.
Okay,
Kind of like our Looney Tune.
Well, our Looney
Maybe
Tune
not
doesn't
as bad.
think he's an emperor.
That's true. Well, are you sure? Anyway.
Okay, the China-Taiwan situation, that is definitely rumors of war. There's a lot of saber rattling. And they've held exercises in the Taiwan Strait, the Chinese have, kind of like to scare them, keep them on their toes. The relationship has been complex and controversial due to the dispute on the political status of Taiwan after the administration of Taiwan was transferred from Japan to the Republic of China at the end of World War II in 1945. And then that's when the Civil War continued in China, right? And it drove the non-communist government, drove them off mainland China over to Taiwan. Right? Yeah. And the subsequent split between the PRC and ROC as a result of the Chinese Civil War, People's Republic of China and Republic of China, right? That's what Taiwan's called. The essential question is whether the two governments are still in a civil war over one China, each holding within one of two regions or parts of the same country, for example, the 1992 consensus. Whether they can be unified under a one country, two systems framework, that didn't work too well for Hong Kong, right?
Right.
Or whether they are now separate countries, either as Taiwan and China or two Chinas.
No, not going to be two Chinas.
Yeah.
That ain't going to happen.
No. Well, there's two Koreas.
Yeah, but it's not going to happen. I mean, if Xi wants Taiwan, especially now,
yeah, he'll take it.
He's going to take it.
I think he's losing time, though, because we're coming up on the election, and Trump, he'll put an end to that.
Elections matter.
They do. The English expression cross-strait relations is considered to be a neutral term that avoids reference to the political status of either side, because China gets really upset when you talk about Taiwan as a country.
Separate country.
They get really upset. The relations between the governments in Beijing and Taipei have been characterized by limited contact, tensions, and instability. In the early years, military conflicts continued while diplomatically, both governments competed to be the legitimate government of China. Since the democratization of Taiwan, the question regarding the political and legal status of Taiwan has shifted focus to the choice between political unification with mainland China or de jure Taiwanese independence. So those are two questions that are going on in Taiwan. The People's Republic of China remains hostile to any formal declaration of independence and maintains its claim over Taiwan. At the same time, non-governmental and semi-governmental exchanges between the two sides have increased, right? We saw Pelosi go over there with the delegation, and then I think McCarthy.
Oh yeah, that made a big difference.
Yeah, they weren't happy about that. In 2008, negotiations began to restore the three links: postal, transportation, and trade between the mainland and Taiwan, between the two sides, cut off since 1949. Diplomatic contact between the two sides has generally been limited to Kuomintang administrations on Taiwan. However, during Democratic Progressive Party administrations, negotiations to continue to occur on practical matters through informal channels. So that's a hot area over there.
Yeah, just kind of like we were just talking about Israel. It's a little tiny island,
speck,
right?
Yeah.
Right next to this huge country that's got what, over 1 billion people, right?
Well over a
Yeah.
billion. Yeah.
And a military the size of
That's growing and
some countries,
increasing in technology
population.
and lethality.
Yeah.
And their Navy. Yeah.
Yeah.
And their Air Force.
Yeah. The only thing that we have going in that deal is that I don't think China's economy is the best. But still, you have a war and all of a sudden your economy takes a turn, right? Don't let a good conflict go to waste.
Crisis, yeah.
Crisis.
So these rumors of wars are valid, and it was prophesied in the scriptures. And these three that we talked about, and the proxy with the United States and Russia, that Cold War too, that was rumors of war. So this is valid. It's a fulfillment of prophecy.
And we got unhinged people running some big shows, and they're all about power and control. And what a sad deal.
True. So
scary.
Remember, if you likey, why not subscribe-y? Hit subscribe. Thanks a lot for joining us, and we'll see you later.
Have a good day. Thank you.